Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today I want to share with you the evolution of my cooking setup, for lack of a better word or a better term. Now this cooking setup has been kind of an ongoing process. I started originally with a nice simple gas stove, the Optimus Terra cook set, which I've kind of gone back to with the addition of a few different pieces. Before I went back to it, I used the Trangia setup. I absolutely love the Trangia stove. I have both the gas conversion kit and also the Metho version. Absolutely bomb-proof, awesome for two-person camping. I still use it for kayak camping and even hiking if I know it's going to be quite a short trip or we're not going to hike too much, more of a kind of glamp, then I'll definitely still take the Trangia. Great bit of kit. But definitely while going solo or longer distance with the wife, I try and pack as light as possible because I do try and take some of her kit to make life a little bit easier. So I'm gonna start off this review with or this video with a weight comparison so you can see straight away kind of what I'm talking about. I've tried to make this kit not only as light as possible, it can go lighter, but as light as possible with some kind of user-friendly mods in there, which kind of make cooking a little bit more possible in all kind of environments. One of the good things I liked about the Trangia was, you know, you can cook in a hurricane with this thing. A lot of the gas stoves, you can't really do that. Because I really enjoy winter camping and camping in the alpine regions, things like wind, uneven terrain, etc. are quite a big issue. So I've kind of modified my cook set to reflect those terrains. You know, it might not be something that works for you, but maybe it'll give you ideas. So regardless, let's start with the weight comparison here. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Trangia there. So that comes in at 963 grams. Now there's no fuel in any of these setups. The Trangia does have both pots in there, the kettle, everything. So everything that I would take out there if I was pretty much taking this kit for a 2-up camping type setup. If I do take a pot out, it will be a little bit lighter though. In comparison, my cooking setup, my new cooking setup is 393 grams there. And again, I can make this a little bit lighter, but really you're talking about, you know, a dozen grams here, a dozen grams there. So for the versatility, I've kind of left it with as is, and that's the weight without any fuel in there. If you say add a absolutely full canister in there, that's going to add another 368 grams. This hasn't been used at all, so this is completely full. It does have the option also of using the smaller one, which will be 190 grams on top. Obviously with the Trangia, you can use the fuel conversion, either these, or you can also carry Metho. I don't have any Metho on hand with the bottle to weigh that for you at this stage. Okay, so getting back to the stove itself, I'll show you guys the setup and the reasons I have this as is. One of the big reasons straight off the bat, apart from the weight, is its size. This is not a big bit of kit, so it is quite small. Everything is together, very simple to throw in the pack and very simple to take out of the pack, set up and get going. So we'll open this up, and as you can see, this is the stuff sack from the Optimus Terra cook set, which I originally brought all those years ago. It's held up really well and it works great for this setup. Straight from the get-go, we have the burner with its stuff sack there. No reason to replace that. It's been awesome. If you want to shed a few grams, again, this is one of those things where you can probably get rid of this stuff sack and either wrap it in some cloth or just leave it as is. I do have the legs here, so again, they're not too heavy, just a couple of grams. I find them really useful. I definitely take them pretty much every single time. The beauty is that, you know, if you're using the big gas canister, you might get away with it being well balanced with the full pot. It's not too much of an issue if you can find a really nice flat bit of ground. If you're using the small canister with a full pot, then it becomes quite tricky and quite unbalanced. So the beautiful thing about these legs is it fits both the big and the small, and for a couple of grams, it's just a piece of, you know, it's just peace of mind. If I pick somewhere nice, you know, on rocks by the river or whatever to have lunch, I set this up, and it doesn't matter if the ground's a little bit uneven. I know the cooking set's not going anywhere, so I carry those. Okay. The stuff sack I showed you guys before, and this is pretty much the setup. Now, this is really awesome how it's fit together. So you've got the pot itself, and then you've got the windshield, and you can see the windshield is a little bit bigger than the pot, a little bit taller. So it's created this little gap on the inside underneath the pot, and this is perfect for, you know, I have a cloth in there. I'll actually just take the pot off. I have my lighter in there, and I have my scouring pad in there. So that's awesome how that's kind of worked out. The windshield itself, I do have some aluminium foil in there. It works well overall. I was up in Kosciuszko, so kind of alpine type country, and it was blowing quite strong. And these holes here, if it's really windy, they don't do a great job at blocking the wind. Enough wind gets in there to really disturb the flame, so I've just added some aluminium in there, and there's enough in there that I can actually wrap the burner fully around if it's, you know, hurricane type conditions. So again, you know, you can get rid of this, you can get rid of this, you know, the stuff sack, so you can go that little bit lighter. But with these bits of kit, I know I can take this cooking set anywhere and use it in any type of weather condition and use it well. And it's nice and easy, and it's functional for me. The pot itself, I put the gas canister back in there, so that kind of fits in there. That's the big one. You know, the little one will fit in there, and you can probably then put extra stuff in there, or some tea, some coffee, or whatever in there, instead of being in your food pack, which is where it currently sits. I generally carry just a big canister. When it starts getting a little bit low, I'll just chuck this in my pack as well, so I know I'm going to completely use this canister, and when it does run out, I do have some backup gas. If it's, you know, a pretty much new one of these, I won't carry the small one. I'll just carry the big one. If I was really OCD trying to save weight, obviously I would just carry a small one, but I'm not that fussed for, you know, a couple of grams here and there. The pot itself, the titanium MSR, is an absolutely insanely good bit of kit. Great pot. This deserves its own review, so I won't go on too much about that, but I definitely recommend having a look and getting one of these. I'll show you the weight of this one really quickly. So I will do a separate review on this pot by itself, but just so you can see, that pot weighs 120 grams. This has replaced the cooking set which came with the Optimus originally. So this is the pot with the lid and everything. This pot, I did try and find just the lid for this. I couldn't really find it because it's not a bad pot at all. By itself, it weighs 170 grams, so a little bit heavier, but not too much. But because I couldn't find a lid, you know, this was traveling alongside, and it wasn't too bad. It gave me a cup, but you know, I didn't need to, you know, 240 grams versus 120, you know, double the weight for no real reason. And personally, I just really like this pot. The lid is really nice and solid. You got good handles. It's a little bit wider for me. It's a little bit easier to use. Again, I'll do a separate review on that one. So back to the full cooking set. I'll just put everything together so you can see kind of how it goes. You've got your burner here. I've done a separate review on this burner. Definitely not too bad of a burner. For boiling water, it's awesome. For cooking actual meals on, the temperature control is extremely fussy, so it becomes quite frustrating. But it definitely does a decent job at just simple tasks. For the weight and the space that it takes up, it's a no-brainer. It's awesome. So that goes on there. You've got your legs as well. So straight away you've got heaps more stability. I've got the windshield which goes around like so. I might just bring the camera out a little bit. There you go, make it easier to see. See my little Mickey Mouse notepad. And then the pot fits perfectly like so. And that's pretty much the setup. Along with that, I've got, you know, the lighter, the scouring pad, and then the cloth which I showed you guys earlier. But that's pretty much it. That whole thing fits inside that little the mesh bag, and again, nice and easy to use. Very versatile. Can use it in all the different weather conditions. For me, it's been a bit of an evolution going from a really simple gas cooker to something a lot bigger, heavier, but in my opinion, much more bomb-proof. You can really use it anywhere. Back to something, you know, back to a gas cooker, but definitely modified a little bit for me personally. So it might not be the exact setup for you, but hopefully you guys have gotten some ideas from it. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.